Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark Roden, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, guys. My name is Mark Roden, and today we're going to be going over 10 cheap cars with great gas mileage. What I mean by cheap is most of these cars are under 5K. A significant number of them are under 3K. And maybe one or two are going to be a little, little over 5K, depending on where you live. But for the most part, where I live, I can find almost all these cars for 5K. So there you go. Also, before we get into the video, this has nothing to do with cars, so if you don't care, skip to 1 minute in the video. But has anybody ever played Dark Souls Remastered? Because I just finished it. I just beat all the bosses in it, and I finished the game, beat Gwyn. What a fun time. What a fun experience, man. I don't want to sound like a nerd here. I don't want to be made fun of and my lunch money stolen from me, but dude, it was a fun time. If you guys haven't tried the Dark Souls games and you're thinking of trying them, start with that one because it has got me hooked, dude. I am ready to go beat them up. Without further ado, let's go right to the number 10. Coming in at numero 10 is going to the Fiat 500. Now, before you're thinking, oh my god, well, it has 500 next to it, that must mean that it's related to the Daytona 500, so it must be pretty quick in a straight line. No, that's a really weird way of thinking about things, by the way, man. You should probably, stop thinking that numbers have to do with other numbers, and this doesn't really make much sense. Anyway, though, the Fiat 500 comes with a 1.4 liter turbocharged inline-4, making 135 horsepower in its front-wheel drive, and gets a combined miles per gallon of 30 miles per gallon combined, which, so here's the thing. It's kind of always up to you whether or not your gas mileage is going to be high or low. It depends on where you're going, what you're doing, where you're driving, how you drive, and a total number of different things puts the gas mileage at different areas. But that's why I just got the combined average gas mileage for each one of these cars to hopefully kind of give you guys an accurate representation of what it might be like for you. But obviously, like I said, if you're highway cruising all the time, if you like to kick it in neutral and you get a manual one, you kick it in neutral when you're coming to a stop, then yeah, the mile per gallon is going to be a lot lower. I meant to say higher there, but I'm not going to re-record a whole 1 minute thing. So number 9 is the Honda Civic 7th generation. A lot of people seem to think that the 7th gen Civic is useless, and that is the worst generation of the Honda Civic family. And here's the thing, man. Is it the worst? I don't know. It's definitely down there. It's one of the worst of the Honda Civic gens, but it's still a Civic. People forget about that all the time. It comes with a 1.7 liter inline-4, making 127 horsepower. It is front-wheel drive, and it once again gets a 30 mile per gallon combined gas mileage. Slightly lower horsepower number, slightly lighter weight car, slightly cooler car, slightly better, well, much better engine than the Fiat 500. I kind of pick your poison there. I personally would much rather have a Civic 7th gen over a Fiat 500, but that's up to you. The Civic also, yes, you can find other generations of the Civic for under 5K, but I wanted to change it up. I always talk about the EK or the EG, but today we're changing it with the 7th gen. Coming in at 8th position is going to the 2nd generation of the Mazda 3. Notice I did not say Mazda Speed 3 because you're not finding a Mazda Speed 3 under 5K. Actually, I have seen a couple 1st gen Speed 3s under 5K, but it's once in a lifetime that it happens. So 2nd gen Mazda 3, the base model, is still a very, very good car. They come with a 2 liter inline-4, making 148 horsepower. It once again is front wheel drive. It has slightly lower miles per gallon gas mileage. I don't know why I keep saying miles per gallon. Gas mileage than the Fiat 500 and Honda Civic at 28 miles per gallon. But it, once again, looks a little bit cooler. It's a bigger vehicle as well, so it's got more space and stuff to do in it. It's just as reliable as the other two. It's slightly more horsepower. I would personally recommend the Mazda 3 over the Civic and the Fiat, so that's why I put it a little bit higher. But yes, technically the gas mileage combined is a little bit lower. Coming in at the number 7 spot, get away from that low gas mileage baloney, because we're talking about the Ford Fiesta, not the Fiesta ST. But again, you probably could find a Fiesta ST for around the 5K mark, I'm just saying. But the normal Ford Fiesta is still a very, very good deal. I mean, they made the Fiesta with the intent of having a good gas mileage car. That's literally the whole reason why they made it, and they succeeded. It comes with a 1.6 liter inline-4, making 120 horsepower, and it is front wheel drive, of course, with a 32 mile per gallon combined gas mileage. Why is that such a hard thing to say? I don't understand, but either way, 32 miles per gallon is slightly better than the other vehicles we've talked about before, obviously, and it's a hatchback, so it still does have the space like the Mazda 3, but now it just has better gas mileage. However, this is the slowest car we've talked about so far, so it's, once again, it's a pick your poison kind of thing. If you want to go fast, you're not going to get good gas mileage. Coming in at the number 6 spot, technically this car should probably be at first place because it gets such good gas mileage, but I can never bring myself to do that. It's the Toyota Prius 2nd generation. To be honest, any generation of the Prius is a decent option if you're looking for just gas mileage. These cars are decently reliable. The hybrid motor can give you issues sometimes, especially if you go with the earlier models because they were still kind of experimenting back then, but that's why I said the 2nd gen. They come with a 1.5 liter hybrid inline 4 that makes a total of 76 horsepower, and it is front wheel drive. So yeah, 76 horsepower is incredibly low, but that all pays off when talking about the gas mileage because it gets a 55 miles per gallon combined. That's insane. There's not many vehicles out there that are getting that good of gas mileage. Obviously, if you get a full electric vehicle, you're doing better than that, but even then, it's like, why even bother? You pretty much buy gas once a year for a Prius and you're good. Now, obviously, I hate the Prius. I would never actually buy one, and I do not recommend buying one, but if all you care about is gas mileage, it is a good option. This is why I don't recommend buying a Prius to absolutely anybody, because if you need a hybrid car and you want it to look at least a little bit cool, number 5 is the Honda CRZ. Just as good as the Prius, obviously not actually just as good as the Prius in terms of gas mileage, but it's a hybrid car, okay, and it looks just 10 times better. It comes with a 1.5 liter hybrid inline 4, same motor as the Prius, not the exact same motor, but the same size as the Prius. But this one makes 122 horsepower. It's once again still front wheel drive because of course, and it gets a combined 37 miles per gallon. 37 miles per gallon is still incredible. Yes, 55 miles per gallon from the Prius is way better, obviously, but 37 is very, very, very good. A lot of cars are not reaching 37 miles per gallon. Honda CRZs also look significantly cooler than a Prius, and they have slightly more horsepower, and they're a Honda, so you can even make it have more horsepower if you want to. It just checks all the boxes for a good daily that gets great gas mileage, honestly. Coming in at the number 4 spot, this is going to the Audi A3 TDI, which stands for that dingleberry is, then you get to fill in the rest. You know, there's a blank there, you get to complete it. The A3 in general is a very underrated slept-on car for reliable little daily drivers, but the TDI, oh my Lanta. It comes with a 2-liter turbo diesel inline 4, making 116 horsepower, and it is of course front wheel drive. It gets a combined 36 miles per gallon, which is just behind the Honda CRZ, except the difference is instead of having a hybrid car, you now have a turbo diesel car, okay? Turbo diesel, it's amazing, I love it. That's literally what the TDI actually stands for, by the way. Turbo diesel injection, is that what it is technically called? But either way, you guys get the idea. Diesel cars in general, if you're looking for good gas mileage, are usually a very good way to go. They're also very reliable, they can last for tons and tons and tons of miles, so go ahead. Coming in at 3rd place, one thing I want to say that I forgot to mention about the A3 is even though the car does technically get better gas mileage than a lot of cars out there, for under 5K at least, you got to remember that diesel gas is a little bit more expensive than normal gas, so just keep that in mind. But either way, the 3rd place is the Mazda Miata NB, the first actual, I would say, sports car on this list, and it's coming in at 3rd place. The reason why is because it comes with a 1.8 liter inline 4, making 135 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive, the only car on this list that is rear-wheel drive, but it gets 28 miles per gallon. So even though that's still really incredible, it's obviously not as good as some of the other vehicles we've gone over so far. So I didn't want to put it at like 1st place, even though I really did want to put it at 1st place because it's a Miata and it's rear wheel drive and it's fun and it's cool looking and it's got a lot of stuff. Obviously, this is the car for the guy that's really, really into cars and can't really make that sacrifice to have like a boring car with good gas mileage. If you want good gas mileage, you can get it in a Miata or something kind of similar, but of course there are some compromises you're gonna have to make. 2nd place is gonna go to another diesel vehicle. Of course, you thought I was done with the diesel vehicles. No, I wasn't. It's the Volkswagen Jetta MK5 TDI. We've already gone over what the TDI stands for. I don't have to remind you, at least I shouldn't, but in case you were wondering, it stands for that dingleberry is fill in the blank. It comes with a 2-liter turbo diesel inline 4, making 116 horsepower, and it is front wheel drive, and it gets 36 miles to the gallon combined. I'm actually looking at this right now on my little script here, and I'm starting to realize that the A3 and the Mark V Jetta have the exact same motor, I think, because they can have the exact same size, horsepower, and miles per gallon. So I'm pretty sure they have the exact same motor. Pick your poison there. I personally like the Jetta significantly more than an Audi A3, but again, it's up to you. The Audi A3 has significantly more space. The Jetta looks a little bit cooler in my opinion. But 1st place is going to none other than a Honda. You thought we were done with the Hondas when we talked about the CRZ? You're wrong, buddy. It's the Honda Accord 8th generation. The 8th, any Accord I don't know why I said any like that, but any Accord is a very good option if you're looking for a car with good gas mileage and something that's still going to be very, very fun and cool and have enough space, and everything that you could possibly want in a daily driver is going to be in an Accord. This one comes with a 2.4 liter inline four, making 190 horsepower, and it is obviously front wheel drive. Due to the fact that it does have more horsepower, it's a slightly bigger motor, and the car itself is a larger vehicle than a lot of the vehicles we've talked about, it does have a very small mile per gallon compared to the others, with only 27 combined. But even though I know this is a list about good gas mileage cars, and I put the lowest gas mileage car on the list at first place, it's because it's well worth it, okay? We all know here, but why are we lying to ourselves? We know that if you're watching this video, if you're watching my channel, you like cars. You don't just like need a car to drive to work and back. You actually like them. And so I think you're going to be the happiest with the Accord 8th Gen. Even though technically, yes, it does have lower miles per gallon compared to the other cars on this list, it is still significantly more fun, cool, and enjoyable to own. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Yesterday, by the way, this isn't just like a yesterday thing. It's been going on for like months now. But I have a serious like stomach condition. I don't really know what's going on, man. It hurts all the time. I wake up and I feel horribly sick all day. I barely eat anything. I don't got a lot of energy and stuff like that. So I got a little bit of an issue going on. And yesterday it was just really, really bad, and it was just really bothering me. So I just didn't feel like talking to a camera. So I hope you guys understand. But yeah, we're back on track, hopefully, as long as it doesn't like flare up again. I went to the doctor, so I do have like medication and stuff coming in. I hope that it's going to solve it, but I've tried medication in the past and that didn't solve it, so who knows what's going to happen. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.